This is Jonathan Agatha for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Dillian Whyte. Just seen Joe Joyce stop Christian Hammer. Dean, you expected that?
Yeah, more or less. I know Christian. Obviously, I was invited here today by them. To be honest, they're my good part. I do know Joe Joyce is a local lad, and I always wish him well because he's from the neck of the woods where I'm from. I'll call you in a minute. Yeah. He's from the neck of the woods where I'm from. I wanted to see Hammer put up a test, and he did, and he gave him, questions. He was probing questions. He's got a hell of a chin. I'm not gonna lie. If it weren't for that, he might not have made this fight, Joe. He ate some peach of a shots in there. He's probably got the best chin in heavyweight boxing. I'd probably go as far out on a limb to say that. And that's gonna be the separating difference with him and a lot of the heavyweights. That chin. But yet again, he has got a body. So I think that is gonna win. And if you're gonna find a chink in his armor, I think it'll be to the body. But he doesn't want to take shots out from big heavyweight punchers who know how to punch and have big one-punch knockout power. But yet again, big up Joe Joyce, man. The train goes on, the juggernaut continues to roll on, and his mashing works, man. Good win. You can't say any more than that, man. He's a kind of humble cat. You can't say anything too much about him. What can you say? You know what I mean?
You've been out the ring almost a year. Do you believe in ring rust at all?
Listen, man, the juggernaut's a machine, fam. Forget all that ring rust. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Listen, he's a pedigree of an athlete. He's an Olympian. He's had endless fights. He probably lives the life, stays in the gym. Obviously, activity is key. But for someone who lives the life and only does boxing, you know what I mean? He's on a big platform. He's looking for big fights. He does probably need to fight more. But look, it didn't show too much in there today. Listen, the juggernaut, pressure bust pipes, they say, and he bust Hammer's pipe with a body shot. And scared guy. But listen, what a chin. I don't know what to say. It's crazy.
Who do you want to see him fight next?
I don't know. I heard talks of Dillian potentially.
You like that fight?
It's not a bad fight. He's a tough old soda. I think Dubois fight's probably a bit better because he's got the WBA regular title. So I think if we're looking at something which makes sense, I don't know if the money makes sense fighting those boys because, to come back down to take that fight, I think the likes of if you take the Andy Ruiz and Ortiz winner, there's a lot more, pie on the table in those kind of fights, but then it doesn't put you in position to fight for any titles. But then if you get the Dubois fight, that does. So Dillian him and the team need to make the choice if they're looking for the titles. But the titles, when you get into position for titles, you get to the money. But Dillian's at a stage where he is at the money end of the matter. So he just needs to pick the right fights, you know what I mean? But Joe, like I said, he's a big old bruising machine. He's undefeated, you know what I mean? And he's hungry, he's raring to go. So, you know what I mean? It's one of them. But I think someone like Dillian with Joe going to the body, Joe gets caught to the head too much. Dillian's left hooks, overhands. Dillian's got a lot more power than Christian Hammer. So I think it would pose problems. But yet again, like I said, his tank is unquestionable. He's got the engine to do the rounds. And if you cannot withstand that barrage of continue coming forward, you're banging trouble. He goes to the head and he comes to the body. He's a wrecking ball.
And how would you think he would do against, hypothetically, the AJs, Furies, etc.?
Listen, he's a hard night's work for anyone. But what I would say, Hammer was making mistakes continuously going back into the corner instead of moving. I think like if he moved a little bit and stopped going, but again, that's fitness, that's engine, that's tank. If he didn't sit in those positions, he sat there and waited for those shots to come. When you're talking about A-class elite level fighters, they're not going to sit in the corner and kind of cover up, if you get what I mean. They're going to move, they're going to use their feet. So I think he's a hard work for anyone, but yet again, he needs to get to that position and see how he does. But he is a hard night because he can punch, he's strong, he's durable, and like I said, he's done it at amateur level, so I don't see why he wouldn't do a good job in the pros. But yet again, those guys have been there a long time. But AJ's is a bit more fleet of foot, can punch, can box. I think he could give him problems, but not to say he wins. I don't know who wins. Joe is mentally tough and he's got a bloody brick cast iron head. So, yeah, again, he's in the fight to the final bell car. I don't know who knocks him out. So, you know what I mean?
And you'll be at Chisora Pulev next week?
Next Saturday I'll be there. Yeah, of course I'll be at the fight, man. That's I'm going to come and watch that. Cheer on Derek. And hopefully he gets the job done.
And finally, when Black Box Global having another show?
Our next show in the next couple of days, so stay
tuned. Clues and where it could be?
No, it's the home of Black Box Global, man. It's going to be Toworth. It's going to be, the tail end of the summer. We're going to have a big bonanza, man, because it's going to be my birthday at the same time. So we're going to try and put up a hell of a card, hell of a show. And stay tuned for the announcement next week.
There you have it, Dean. Appreciate your time.
Thanks very much. Cheers.